So, they will never offer an existing customer a new iPhone or a new like Galaxy phone, one of the top tier flagships, because it makes no business sense. Why am I gonna have to reward a customer that I already have? I want to bring in more customers, new customers. These people that I already have, I don't need to work for them. And I think that's the same tactic that Uber has been doing, because I'm not the only one. You get to the location and there's no surges happening in that area. And given the situation of the low pay, we had this one driver. I'm part of an Uber group, and this customer drove somewhere, I don't know, I want to say like LA to like, I have no idea, it was like up north, and it was almost like 100 miles, maybe a little bit more. I could be wrong. But they ended up making about like $130, $140. Sounds really good on paper. But keep in mind, depending on the vehicle that they drove, to drive up over there, they probably burned, if there was no traffic, we're probably looking at maybe like 3, 4, maybe 5 gallons of gas, more or less, depending on their miles per gallon. So right off the bat, they're already losing, maybe, I want to speculate, let's say gas is at $4 a gallon, 4.50. 4 or 5, you're probably looking at like maybe 16, $20 in that area, right off the gas cost. So that 15, $20 of 140, you're now looking at about $120. Now keep in mind, once you're up there, sometimes, a lot of the times, you don't get rides back coming to your destination. And there are geographic zones, and certain, like, especially like, if you go, I've had situations where I've gone up to Santa Clarita myself and there's no customers. I've gone up to Lancaster at times and there's no customers. So now you have to drive back, and that's another expense. You're wasting time, which is really, really valuable. That drive was probably, I think, maybe like an hour and a half for that customer. So now you got to waste another hour and a half coming back to be able to find customers. And, all of that needs to be factored in. And, the fact, one of the biggest issues that we have as a community from the Uber driver community is the fact that, ask any independent contractor, any real independent contractor, air conditioning technician, a plumber, you know, how are you not going to give upfront information to make business decisions if it's profitable or not? You know, as independent drivers, I believe we should be able to set our own rates, you know, and if, and be able to see if it makes business decisions, you know, none of that 25-minute drive for $2-3, you know, it's outrageous. It's very insulting and demeaning, you know. And I'm in that situation where I don't have the luxury of being able to find. I'm in the process of finding a new job right now, and I'm actually scared because there was a very extensive background check. But I felt like I needed to tell my side of the story, tell my truth. And I'm not here because, part of me feels like I might be retaliated by corporations and stuff like that. But this isn't about starting arguments or starting conflict with corporations. It's just to give them information and make them aware of where the average person is coming from. We have bills to pay. I'm in California. Rent is freaking expensive over here, and when you basically take the ability of drivers being able to earn a living wage and, using the whole Prop 22, honestly, I feel like with the whole Prop 22, the one of the issues was, there's no variable prices with gas. I bet you 100% that if Uber or Lyft had made us into employees and their liability shifted towards them, so now they have to maintain vehicles and vehicle expenses, they would have 100% automatically already increased prices towards customers, you know? And they haven't done that. they actually reduce drivers' cost, because I'm assuming they don't want to raise prices towards the customers, but it affects us, the drivers, trying to make a living. And there's no way of getting around it. I feel like Uber, you know, can't be giving these little short rides for the fare that they're doing it for. I understand there's competition from Lyft and other companies, but let the other companies take the loss. And you know I feel like, honestly, the only person that it's gonna hurt is the customer. you know the $2-3 rides that needs to be scratched off. I'm almost 100% sure most customers wouldn't mind paying $5 for a short ride. Most people can afford $5. The bus is, I think last time I checked, it was like almost $2 or something like that. I don't know what the current price is, but we're not a bus. We don't handle the large capacity of customers that a bus has, on a single route going towards the destination. Gas, like I said, gas is almost $5 a gallon. And corporations need to be made aware of that. They need to realize, I understand, you know Uber and Lyft are a corporation, and they have to look out for their stockholders, and they have to return a profit and things like that. But they also need to look at the drivers and the workers and the people that work for them, because they obviously want to make the company succeed. you know and honestly, the business model that was made for Uber and Lyft, you know it's almost a mutual relationship. We depend off each other, the driver and the corporation. you know because if Uber really wanted to just think about themselves, they would have, opened up their own fleet. They would have made employees, and that would have been different. But with independent contractors, we have to factor in our costs. And the issue with this is, Uber has millions of dollars. And I'm not trying to sound like a bashing them or anything like that, but don't you think, that Uber is able to hire MIT people, Harvard people, people that come from, prestigious schools, that are really smart, that are really talented? Everything's shifting towards data analytics, data scientists, statistics. Everything is being micromanaged, to the highest level. Talk to any of these Uber drivers. You know, we don't have representation. We don't have, any leverage whatsoever towards these big companies. And these are the major issues that are stemming from, fast food workers, just trying to make a living and being able to